What is going on, everyone? I am once again very excited to be reviewing this knife. This is the Civivi Guile. I'm excited for a couple of reasons. I kid you not, with all the knives that I have in my collection, which has to be at this point 150 to 200, but I've handled over not a thousand, several hundred knives, or maybe 1,000. I don't know. Anyway, I don't, this, to my knowledge at this moment, this is my very first Civivi knife. I have no idea how the hell that happened. But I believe the Guile is my very first Civivi blade, which is very exciting. But even more exciting is I'm a big fan of Shawn Ashmore. This is his first design with Peace Neighbor. Again, this is the Civivi Guile. And if you guys aren't aware, Peace Neighbor, they put out their first, this isn't it, they put out their first pry bar, which was the Archon. Was it the Archon? Yeah, it was the Archon. Which is basically a bigger version of this. This is more like a keychain version, but the Archon, I want to say, was maybe a couple inches bigger. I've given that to my brother. It was a beautifully anodized purple Archon. This here is the Espion. This is, like I said, more of a keychain version, or just a smaller version. I don't think you call it a keychain version, but either way, you have their logo on this beautiful bead here, and you can see the wear on the other side, the way that I carry it. It's always a cool thing to have a pry bar in your pocket. I don't know how many of you guys actually utilize pry bars. I don't just use them as an accessory. I think they're extremely useful, and these have been very well made. So again, that made me excited to try out this here. Again, the Civivi Guile. It's a liner lock front flipper. Just to go over the specs real quick, you have an overall length of 7.47 inches. The blade length comes in at 3.25. As you can see, it's a Damascus steel. This is a sub $100 knife. I believe it's $99 or $89 depending on where you go. I got this one at White Mountain Knives, which, if you're not familiar, is basically like a savior retailer for anyone in the Northeast. It's one of the best retailers out there and happens to be in New Hampshire, which is the next state over. Just great people, great service. They got this to me a couple days early. I did pay for it. It wasn't given to me. You have the Peace Neighbor logo, which I think is badass. Such a great logo. So the handle is black canvas, or canvas micarta, black canvas micarta. And as I said, it's a Damascus steel blade. Very comfortable. The ergonomics are extremely comfortable. Got a nice 4-finger grip there. And while they don't have the finger trail, they have a nice little plateau here. I guess a tiny bit of a finger trail, maybe unintentionally, but it's extremely comfortable. They have jimping that goes just about halfway up the spine, so you got a nice grip there. I got full control. I don't feel like I'm going to slip off. Like I said, not only is it comfortable, it is extremely lightweight. It comes in at 2.7 ounces. The action, again, I'm judging this as my first Civivi, or at least I think it is, and for this specific design, the action is just insane. Just falls right into the pocket. Very, very, very smooth. I can still even get my finger in when I'm deploying it. There's enough space there to get my finger using the thumb hole. Just a very comfortable, very smooth knife. Dead center. Lockup is, let's see. I mean, I can't complain about that. I think the whole liner lock is on there. I had about 50%. Just a really comfortable knife, very smooth, and the detent is super crisp. Watch out, it just gets sucked back into the handle here. It's really, really crisp. I can't shake it out. If I tilt it, I found that if I tilt it a certain way I can, but only a very specific way will it come out. But if you're holding this straight down, you will not be able to shake this out. Again, it is a front flipper, so you can open it like that as a normal front flipper. You can pull it back, or you can roll it back. Very smooth. Takes up barely any real estate. You barely notice that it's there during the day when you're carrying it. Love the Wharncliffe blade shape. Just all around really beautiful little knife, especially for, I shouldn't say little, like I said, the blade comes in at 3.25 inches, so it actually is a larger blade compared to a lot of the knives I've seen recently. Yeah, just a lot of great things to say about it, but I did put it to the test, so let's go see it in action, and I will be back in a minute. And we are back. A couple things I want to mention here. First, I'm even getting bored of the same testing over and over. So in the future, what I'll probably do is show abbreviated versions of testing with the same materials, but I am going to try to add new materials in the mix, maybe different scenarios, just to give everyone a better understanding of how these knives are working on a day-to-day performance, or how they perform day-to-day rather, with these types of tasks. And I don't want to forget White Mountain Knives, just a phenomenal retailer. I know we've all probably used them at one point or another. They always have a great selection. Very nice people. Service is great, always as helpful as they can be. And last but not least, this is a Shawn Ashmore design with Peace Neighbor. This is the Civivi Guile. Really looking forward to see what he comes up with next. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I will be back soon.